Hey guys, Samuel Larsen here from zerogrowth.com, and today's video is going to be a fun one. We are at the Shopify theme store browsing the paid themes. My idea here is there are 72 paid themes in the store, sorted by popularity. The most popular ones are Impulse, Prestige, and Warehouse. Let's take a look at those themes and see what they are collectively doing against the best practices of CRO and see what we can find. So just jumping into this right away, let's take a look at the Impulse theme. I'm going to start from the cart itself. Now obviously there's multiple things here that could generally be done better. Some of them cannot really be done on a theme level. So for example, if typically a Shopify store would be smart to optimize their cart a little bit, like hiding footer and header, for example. In this kind of case, those are still here. You can see it on the screenshot, for example, but there are a lot of distractions here. Now, one thing that stands out on all of these carts is that they all have this text here, shipping taxes and discount codes calculated at checkout. So people generally don't need to be told that there's going to be extra fees later on. So we just want to have them proceed to checkout rather than thinking of everything that's still yet to come. It states here that this is a subtotal, so that should do from a legal perspective. Here is how Prestige does it, shipping and taxes calculated at checkout. So this just creates anxiety and is a distraction. They're generally in cart, like the less there is to read, the better. People know that these things will be there later on, so we often have this on the funnels, like this principle, where we just want them to go to the next step rather than creating that extra distraction and anxiety. One thing we go over and think in these kind of scenarios, if we are showing this text, what kind of user quotes that could generate. So for example, here a quote could be like, I don't know what I'm going to pay now. Like, I don't know how much the shipping is. I wasn't thinking about it before, but now I am. So they already know that they're going to get these fees, so just let them find them out later. So let's get that commitment and get people moving the cart. Now, Warehouse is the last theme. Here they say tax included, shipping calculated, checkout by default. That is better, for sure. But it's still shipping calculated at the checkout, so it's unnecessary at this point. We've never seen this win in testing, when we have had this test with this text and without this. We tried all of these different combinations. Alright, moving on to our next suggestion. It is to remove the Buy It Now button from the product pages. So you see all of these themes, they have the Buy It Now button here. Buy it now, buy it now, buy it now. Now what's the problem here? You are giving people two competing choices. And here you have the Add to Cart and Buy It Now basically competing for attention. You have a primary button on a primary spot, but not with the primary color. So you would want to just simplify this and have one button. Once they add it to the cart, they can go from there with one click. It's just an extra click. Here you have to have an extra decision. Extra decision is a lot worse than the extra click. We've tested this extensively because customers always want to keep this for some reason. It's quite intuitive to think like, okay, if I can just have a Buy It Now button, people can instantly get to the checkout. However, that doesn't seem to help. So just having the Add to Cart button, people know how to go from the cart to the checkout. It's really not a problem to only have that cart button, but it is a problem to have both, and especially it's a problem to have it competing like this. Then that is also confusing. It's good to keep in mind that with most of these suggestions, the theme developers are not optimizing this for conversion. They just want to have as many elements here as possible so that people don't skip this theme because it is missing an element. So if a non-sophisticated buyer looks at this and like, this has the nice Buy It Now button, this doesn't, for example, then people might buy this theme because of that. So the theme developer is incentivized to have these things added to the theme as opposed to making it as zero optimized as it can be. Alright, let's move on to the next suggestion. I'll have a bonus one after this as well, because it's a little bit different than these suggestions. And that is to remove the social sharing buttons. So see, here we have the sharing buttons. Here we have the sharing buttons here. That's a thing where obviously store owners love the
idea that some people will be sharing this with their friends, and store owners generally like their products. They think they are shareworthy, but very few people ever share products on the product pages. It is more of a subconscious trigger for them to go and browse Facebook. It reminds them that this exists here. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all the different distractions are here, and they are reminded of those. So if, for example, I click here, suddenly a tab opens that has my Facebook account. Not ideal. Now, even if I share this, and my friends might see it, then I am back on Facebook. So in a way, like, I could have bought the product, but now it just got some social sharing. So even that scenario is actually not ideal. So we are looking for people to do non-ideal things. Best would be for people to just buy the product, and then the friends would see it. You can have that notifications on the thank you page to share the product then, or even on your email, and it's a lot more powerful that way, because now you actually bought it, as opposed to just had it. And so you can see also some of these themes might have this even here, which is double problematic, because you actually are not even sharing anything. You're just opening an Instagram. And when you are, for example, in Instagram, it's very easy to start browsing around and get distracted here. Instagram is meant to provide these little dopamine spikes for you to get distracted and spend as much time on the platform as possible to maximize their ad showings. All right, next and the bonus tip. So let's go a little bit further here on the theme. So let's look at the Chord Experiences on these themes. So first of all, Impulse. And here we have a case where you have the same header and footer as with the rest of the store. That's really the last point that I want to make. So why would you want to have the same exact things on this kind of very special scenario where people are just like looking to get to the end? So you can think of like what would be the relevant things to show on the cart and how to customize this. Now, most likely people would not need this, like for example, they are just about to buy a product and like, have you considered? Now this is something that the theme doesn't have by default, so they probably added this since I took a look at the another store as well. And here they have a different layout. But what you'd want to have here is just a simplified version of the footer. I'm playing around with the header a little bit, so you could just have the logo and then a little bit of a button here to go back. And that way people can shop and check out without any distractions, so you kind of funnel them there. This is what you should do. Go to the checkout instead of getting distracted. Same thing here with the Prestige theme. This is actually a little bit of a worse example because they have the add order note box. People don't know what to add there. Additional distraction and additional friction. Especially if you are buying a product like this is $890. It's getting a little bit risky to fill this field wrong or not know what to do with that. And here, this theme actually has a really small font. It's difficult to read it. Even by myself, I think I'm younger than the average audience for this particular product, but big problem. Also here, you have the social media icons, distracting email newsletters, everything like that. Here with the Prestige theme example 2, this is the same kind of layout, so they have the order note box here, even though we're not able to see it on the demo store because the cart cannot be activated there. But they have the same kind of thing here. So the checkout is under this note box, and a lot of different ways to get distracted with the recent reviews and extra information there. If you want to take a look at specifically how you can do carts without header and footer, you can look at the Amazon example, where it is specifically funneled toward that purchase, and they do extremely well with that. Here's another example of a very distracting cart with complete your cart, as if your cart was not already completed. Now I understand that you add the average order value there, but usually this just ends up hurting the conversion rate, and the conversion rate hurt offsets the average order value benefit that you get from this. So if I had any small ask for the theme developers regarding cart, it would be to eliminate the newsletter subscriptions on the cart and definitely follow us as well. I'd say also you should by default eliminate the collections as well, because you're not forcing people to cart anyway. They go there by their own accord. And now you can distract them by, are you not sure yet? Here's some more products to consider. So you're really doing a friction point there. Same with this subscribe and save things on the header, etc. So on the cart page, we'd like to see more custom headers and footers from the team developers. And that would help convert more of these people by default. So that's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you'd like more content like this to your YouTube videos. If you are already having some success with your e-commerce store, you can go to practising.com/apply to see if this might be a good fit for you. We can take a look at your theme and see where it can be optimized. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.